Hi everybody, I'm Frank Brown, CEO of Corrective Exercise, Arizona's leader in geriatric personal training, and today we are going to talk about posture and why posture is so important as we age. With exception of all of the obvious reasons posture is important, a lot of the body's systems actually rely on proper posture, primarily our digestive system and our respiratory system. They really rely on our cervical posture. When people's cervical posture starts to become compromised as they age, what we see most commonly as people move less, they get contracture on the front side of the body and the abdominals and the hip flexors, and then they start to lean forward a little bit. And then in order to, keep from looking at the floor, they have to cervically protrude. And then what happens is now the cervical spine is now aligned with the thoracic spine, and your upper GI and respiratory tract are compromised. See, naturally, our head and neck sit directly above our shoulders, and it is a direct pathway for our food intake, our water intake, our air intake to our lungs. And when our cervical posture is pushed forward like this, well, then all of a sudden it's not as easy for food and water to get down into the stomach, because the neck is pushed forward. And then elderly people, when that happens, they become a tremendous risk of what we call aspiration, and that is when food or water sit in the upper GI tract for too long, and then they breathe in food and water, and this puts them at a tremendous risk for pneumonia. When thoracic posture fails, the lungs have a hard time getting a full expansion. So when your chest is open like this, your lungs sit inside your thoracic cavity and inside your ribs. And when you're upright like this, your lungs have a much easier time expanding and contracting every time you breathe. When you're hunched over like this, it's much harder for you to breathe. One of the reasons I wrote my book, Use It or Lose It, was because I came out and I met a client who was 99 years old, and her posture had become so compromised because of her osteoporosis. It was affecting so many of her basic bodily functions that she couldn't live a comfortable life anymore. She couldn't sleep properly, she couldn't swallow properly, she had a terrible time breathing. And I spent the majority of my sessions with her just, trying to combat the physical decline brought on by her posture failing. Just because someone's been diagnosed with osteoporosis, that does not mean they're going to end up with what everybody knows as hunchback, which the technical term for that is actually kyphosis, when the spine starts to round over like this. But the muscles are actually what hold the spine upright. And if the muscles have to fail first in order for the spine to start to come forward, if you keep the postural muscles strong, well, then your spine is a lot less likely to become compromised by the osteoporosis. But no one had ever told her this. So posture is one of the main things we focus on in corrective exercise, because it's one of the main things we see really affecting people's quality of life as they age. So protecting your posture is critical. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer.